as promised, the RoadBlock review. Now I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. I actually enjoyed RoadBlock more than I did Fastlane. Now I'm not gonna act like RoadBlock was the greatest show ever because trust me, when it had good stuff, it also had some stuff that was stupid. Now I'm not gonna bring up any of the dark matches because let's be honest, because I didn't see them, I don't really care. Now going this, you gotta always remember this is a glorified house show made into a special. So you can't go in this match thinking it was gonna be, you can't go in this thinking for an epic pay per view because remember it's just a house show. But anyway, let's start off. The New Day versus Sheamus and King Barrett. The New Day's come out and cut a funny promo as usual about a new cereal called Bootios, and when you eat it, you don't be booty. I probably would eat some Bootios if they really sold them. Who am I kidding? It probably would taste like booty. That was a stupid joke, and I feel stupid for making it. Anyway, Sheamus and Barrett came out, and really, no one wanted Sheamus and Barrett to win. The New Day retained the titles because Barrett had Kofi pinned. No, he had Big E pinned, but Xavier distracted the referee, and then was chased by Sheamus. Then Kofi hit a bulldog on the floor, and Big E hit a big ending on Barrett to pick up the victory. This I thought it was an alright match. I'll give it a C+. Next up was a match an impromptu match. Chris Jericho versus Jack Swagger. The match was decent, but in all honesty, I didn't really care. The best thing I actually liked about it was the promo Jericho cut before, where even in his home country of Canada, Jericho really did get some pretty good heat. Pretty much telling the crowd to shut up and saying how you had a chance to cheer me, now you cheer AJ Styles. Then he brought up Swagger, how you cheered for him when he won the title from me. Back, I said, no, we didn't actually. No one cared. No one liked Swagger. No one really likes Swagger now. Then Swagger came out and really they put on an okay match. But we all knew Jericho was gonna win it. Jericho picked up the victory with the Walls of Jericho. I give it a C. I thought it was alright. Next up was the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dashwood Elder versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. This match was really good. This is a textbook example of how sometimes bringing back old school tag team wrestling can work. One thing I like about Dash and Dawson is they are just like an old school heel tag team. Really, the only thing they're missing is a manager. But even then, this match had really good wrestling from both teams. Enzo and Cass prove why they're over and really should be coming to the main roster now. The New Day have beaten everyone. And it could feed into a storyline of New Day saying how you could never get it done in NXT. You're definitely not going to get it done at WrestleMania. The Revival did pick up the victory. For a second, the day they really did figure something thinking that Enzo and Cass was going to win. When Enzo rolled up, I believe it was Dawson for a 2 count. I really thought it was over for a second. But in all honesty, this was a really good tag team match. And I love the offense of Enzo and Cass. Cass being, 7 foot tall, just throw his Enzo over the top rope on the Dash and Dawson. That was pretty cool. But the way, Dash and Dawson, using Carmella to, as heels, getting behind her and things like that. This is like I said, textbook example of babyface tag team versus babyface babyface tag team versus heel tag team and a really good tag team title match. And this is actually better than the first tag team title match. Other than the main event, this is probably my favorite match of the night. I'm gonna give it a B plus actually. I think it was good. Next up was Charlotte versus Natalya. Now, I said in the prediction video that Charlotte and Natalya have good chemistry, as seen by their NXT Championship match, and this match was really good. It wasn't. I said in the prediction video that it wasn't for the title, but WWE did make it for the title, which pretty much made assured us that Charlotte was gonna win. And Natalya in Toronto. In Toronto and Canada, bringing up how she's dedicating this match to Bret Hart and this recovery. And speaking of that, something I forgot to mention was Jericho being, a heel, took a sign and ripped it up from a fan, which is alright, but the problem is the sign was a Get Well Bret sign, and I don't think Jericho noticed it. So, yeah, Jericho messed up right there. Anyway, back to Charlotte and Natalya. It was a really good technical match between two really good technical wrestlers. And unfortunately, just like the Royal Rumble, Rick had to get involved. I said in the Royal Rumble match between Becky and Charlotte, had Rick not have been there, it probably would have been a better match. This match, both women locking in their submissions, and, Natalya had Charlotte in a sharpshooter, and Rick had his hands under the rope, and Charlotte had her hands on Rick. And then Natalya let go, tried to punch Rick. Rick ducks, and Charlotte rolled up and put her feet on the ropes. I am sick of how, trust me, I'm a huge Ric Flair fan, but I am sick of how he's getting involved in Charlotte's matches because it's making Charlotte look like she can't beat people without Rick, and she's beating Natalya without Rick. Heck, the women's title match they had back in NXT, Rick and Brett were in each woman's corner, and they never got involved once. Why can't we get that same luxury here on the main roster? But anyway, this was a really good match, and you can check, I said it on Twitter, a really good match, but a stupid ending. And for that, I gotta give this match a B. It would have got a B+, but the ending did kind of cheat it. And honestly, I would have actually had Charlotte win with the sharpshooter. Think of the heel heat you can get on Charlotte, making Natalya tap out in Canada to the sharpshooter. Next up was a very disappointment. Brock Lesnar versus, I'm not even gonna say the white hand, Brock Lesnar versus Luke Harper, because Bray didn't do one thing in this match. Mind you, it was advertised as Bray versus Brock, and Luke did and it was turned to a handicap match, and then Luke did all the wrestling. Now, I think Luke Harper is underrated, if you ask me, and really, I'm glad he used Luke instead of Braun Strowman. And really, Bray never got involved. And Luke hit some pretty good moves on Brock. He hit a really good suicide dive, a few kicks, a clothesline. But once Brock started suplexing him, hit him with one F5 and it was over. It looked like Brock started to stalk Bray, but Bray just walked behind the curtain and Brock walked behind the curtain. A really disappointment. And this makes me think, if you weren't going to have Bray wrestle in this match, then why'd you advertise this Bray versus Brock? Now, I haven't heard anything online whether if Bray was hurt or anything like that. Maybe he couldn't compete because of that. If so, then you get a pass. But unless I hear something about that, on What Culture Bleacher Report, I don't see it as an excuse to not give Bray a chance to face Brock, unless you don't want Bray getting pinned again. And honestly, I don't. Next up was Sami Zayn versus. Oh yeah, by the way, I gave Luke Harper and Brock Lesnar a C. Next up was Sami Zayn versus Stardust. Now, in all honesty, I really do like Sami Zayn, but my stream in the network was freezing up through the entire match, so I didn't get to see a lot of it. But from what I saw, it was decent. The right guy won, and I'm glad Sami won with the haluva kick, and he didn't win by a roll up in his home country of Canada. And I really wish it would have been probably Sami versus Kevin Owens, which is what I want at WrestleMania, but it doesn't like we're gonna get that. Probably gonna get a multi-man ladder match, which is dumb. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love a multi-man ladder match, but the storyline is there for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and Sami has not really gotten that retribution yet. Sure, he eliminated from the Rumble, and he attacked him on Raw last week, but honestly, Sami has got to get that really decisive bit of retribution against Kevin, and WrestleMania will be the perfect time, but nope. Anyway, I give Sami Zayn and Stardust a C. Next up was Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. Now, this match was as good as I expected. Dean and Tripp worked with each other pretty good. This was, I thought, the match of the night. A lot of back and forth. Dean, usually it's Tripp the one working on someone's leg, but Dean really worked on Triple H's leg. Put him in a figure four and the sharpshooter. Now, you can debate on whether or not Dean's sharpshooter looked good. I thought it was alright. It looks better than the Rock sharpshooter, but not as great as, say, Bret Hart's or Natalya's Sting. But I thought Dean, had a pretty good sharpshooter. The Canadian crowd was split, which kind of disappointed me. I really thought they'd be, more behind Ambrose, but they were behind Ambrose. And, I like Triple H too. Now, this match had a really controversial moment that really did anger me at first. Now, the two are facing each other. Dean hits Dirty Deeds. So, I'm thinking, alright, Tripp's gonna kick out. 1, 2, 3. I jumped out of my seat. Oh my God, he won. No. Dean Ambrose's foot was under the bottom rope, and the referee waved it off. And here's the problem. The replay I need a better angle because didn't like Dean's foot was under the rope to me. It didn't look like that from that angle they showed. They didn't give me a good replay. And really, the one thing I will say is that I'm glad it pretty much shows that Dean could pin Triple H because he had him. Anyway, after that, Dean hits an elbow drop on the outside. Then tries to put Triple H through the announce table, but Trip moves, puts Dean through and Dean jumps through the table. Dean just barely makes it in for the 9 count, but as soon as he gets in, pedigree for the 3 count, and Triple H retains the WWE Championship. I'm not angry like I was at Fastlane because I knew there was no chance of Dean walking out. You could have thrown a really good wrench in WrestleMania if you did, but that was not happening. And the thing that angered me wasn't the fact that Dean didn't win. It was the fact that he pinned Triple H for the 3 count with Dirty Deeds, and they waved it off. That means it's the second time Dean has pinned someone with Dirty Deeds, and it was waved off a technicality. And unless I see a better angle that Dean's foot was under that rope, then I'm not going to accept that as a loss on Dean's part. The way I see it, Dean should be the WWE champion right now. But anyway, besides that, this was a pretty good match. You know, Triple H is barely pulling it off. That's a good thing. Dean looked incredibly strong, which is good because the way Brock looked earlier, you need Dean to look strong if you're going to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in a no-holds-barred match. And now Triple H will move on to Roman Reigns. No one's going to care. Then we're going to move on to Brock Lesnar. People will care because they're the 2 most over people on the main roster. And I'm afraid Triple H will be getting cheered in Dallas against Roman Reigns. But anyway, I'm going to give that match an A-. I thought it was really good. So my final score for WWE RoadBlock overall is a B. The NXT Tag Team title match, the women's match, and the main event really were the highlights of the show. But a couple matches that no one really cared for and the stream messing up did hurt a little bit. But like I said before, this is actually better than Fastlane. So maybe I can get another video out later this week before I leave on vacation. I don't know. But anyway, my name is Kyron Chase, and I'll see you guys later.